Greetings and felicitations, hip hip hurrah, and yes, Mr. Spock, it is pronounced tally ho. Welcome, welcome. It's Sunday, it's laid back, it's time for us to just chew the fat for a little while about some things. Today, the day of days, we're going to have a little discussion about the paranormal, those things that go bump in the night. And be forewarned, this topic may have a part two and a part three and a part 26 to it.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's a huge subject.
Yes. And as always, joining me, our hostess with the mostest, the lovely and talented diva of YouTube, Yvette.
Hello, everyone. Oh, Mr. Lundell, those announcements for me are way too extravagant, but thank you.
Oh, you're worth every word.
So I will say, on behalf of Mr. Lundell, what you might be about to watch may be disturbing. So if you are frail and scared easily,
yeah,
watch the playback with a drink in you,
with the lights on, and your teddy bear,
a big cushion, maybe. That's what I use. Well, Jeepers Creepers made me use an actual pillow. God, that scared the crap out of me, that film.
Yeah, it was. But today's topic, the paranormal, the real stuff.
Yep.
As those guys that were plumbers that were really famous as ghost hunters until they were figured out to be frauds would say.
You mean taps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, taps.
Well, I mean, I could have told you it was fake.
Yeah, exactly. Look, most haunted over here has been going forever. Fake as fuck. And don't even get me started on Zach Bagans and Ghost Adventures. And many, many more on YouTube. However, there are a couple I do, and I do a lot of what. I do watch quite a few, just to see if I can find a genuine ghost hunter. And there are a couple out there that do it right, so to speak. But then the bigger they get, the more they want to entertain, and that's where it goes wrong, unfortunately. However, today we're doing haunted places, some of the most famous in the world. I've got some great pictures. I know Mr. Londell's got a couple, and he's got two of the most amazing places in America. And I've sort of done a top 5 brief history of ours. Now, can anyone guess what's the number 1 in England as the most haunted place? Words, you're excluded from this. Actually, I want to see if Words thinks it's, because I was actually surprised. Not, well, I wasn't, but I was, because I thought there'd be more haunted places. Yeah. Well done, Curtis. Yeah, the Tower of London.
Got it right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Do
you know? Yeah, I'm with Curtis. Yeah, you're both right. And I thought there were more haunted places than the Tower of London. Now, obviously not, because it's been around 1,000 years and then some. But but some very interesting little history I've done on it for you.
I saw this documentary the other day on YouTube from History's Hits.
Yeah.
I thought it was a castle in Scotland that was supposed to be the most haunted.
Well, I said England, so I'd excluded Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I'd done the UK, I probably would have got a lot more, because, there are a lot of places in Scotland and in Ireland and in Wales. So virtually any ancient building is classed as haunted here. So, but my top 5 is absolutely amazing, because I have been to every single one of them, which is great. So I can give you a first-hand experience of being there. So, do you want to start, Mr. Londell, or want me to start today? I don't mind.
I don't. Well, okay. We both did work on Winchester, right?
I've got pictures for you for Winchester.
Okay, and we can. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let me start with Winchester.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you do a couple, because I only have like 2 or 3 places, and I've got a list that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, I know. I've got a few more. I mean, I literally have a handful more I didn't even get time to put on here, because I haven't been too well, as you know. So
yeah,
it's just what's going on here? Well, this is fun. I'm just opening the pictures for the Winchester House here.
Let's just kind of tag team on and off.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the Winchester pictures for you, so that when you want me to put them on screen, I can. So have I got that one? Yeah.
Random menaces in the house.
Hey, Joseph, you got my message. I didn't want you to miss it. I know how you like everything spooky booky.
The deadliest non-corporeal sightings are usually in my bathroom.
Yeah.
First. Oh
God.
That's a good one too. That's a good one, random. Yeah. Okay, so Winchester House, the infamous Winchester Mystery House, located in San Jose, California. This Victorian-style mansion was once the residence of Sarah Winchester, the widow of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company's founder. The house is known for its bizarre architectural features, such as secret passageways, doors that open to walls, and staircases that lead nowhere. Legend has it that Sarah Winchester, convinced that she was haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, continuously built and modified the house to confuse and evade the ghosts. Today, the Winchester Mystery House is a popular tourist attraction with guided tours allowing visitors to explore its mysterious rooms and learn about the fascinating history behind this one of a kind architectural marvel. Now, I kind of heard a different story because the story I heard was okay, there was the death, a child, her husband, her in laws, her parents, and it was just freaking her out. And she consulted a medium, and the medium told her that it was the spirits of all those that died because of the Winchester rifle. And she was told to build a house and keep building. As long as you build and those ghosts will have a place to live, they will leave you alone. That was okay. So evidently they're different versions of that story, but this is the plan of that house as it stands now. And you see there are all types of rooms, hallways, and corridors and stairs that lead nowhere. All types, like you said, all types of secret passages and such. And exterior view of the house. Okay, if you're into Victorian architecture and Gothic revival things like I kind of am, this is a beautiful house, color scheme wise and everything. I like it. Okay, but you know it can be it's all jumbled up and crazy. I'm just looking at this picture. It looks like I see three widows' walks in the back here, and there's no telling whatever. And here are those stairs. Okay, so you've got one set of stairs that goes to the left, and it looks like one that goes straight up and into the roof or the ceiling. And black and white image of the same thing. Okay, just so personally, I think she was kind of a crazy lady. That was, just to have everybody die on you in succession like that. That would, that would mess with you because
She was
my
batshit crazy, not
yeah,
just crazy.
my paternal, my grandmother on my father's side, she lost my father when five of her sons in succession before she passed away. How she dealt with it, I have no idea.
Oh,
It was,
God knows.
so I can, you just imagine how that would work on somebody, to outlive a child or
No one
so
should outlive as a child.
yeah. But
I do have some. Sorry.
looking back on my grandmother's experience, I can kind of see how that would affect
Yeah,
Sarah
mentally.
Winchester.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely. Because she
and see,
she
this
lost
was
both her children as well, didn't she?
yeah, and this was at the height of the spiritualist movement in the
Yeah.
U.S. So you had all these, I'm gonna say it, fake
Yeah.
mediums running around.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A lot,
That
in
tell you
fact,
a
trivia
lies.
question, trivia deal. A lot of magic tricks
Mm,
that illusionists do today
mm.
came from that era.
Yep.
Primarily the spirit box. You ever see an illusionist do the spirit box? That was a trick that they would use to convince you that they had control over spirits. That, and with the table, and you know how they would make a table levitate with
Gosh,
everybody
yes.
stand. That was another one.
Mm. And mediums used a profession called cold reading.
Yeah.
And my ex John, who passed away, who didn't believe in any of this, could do a better cold reading than a gypsy in Blackpool
Huh.
because he'd studied the art. And he could give more information to someone than a gypsy by cold reading. And
Huh.
and it, once trained, anyone can do it. So, you know, there's a lot in that. I do have a couple of extra facts about the Winchesters if you're interested. Well, Sarah, to be exact.
Mhm.
After she started building, she created a seance room so she could converse with the ghosts herself without the medium. And it's on record that they told her to keep building because not only to keep the ghosts happy, but to build confusing places to keep the nasty ghosts lost in the house so they wouldn't get to her. And that is why there are so many weird stairs and
Yeah.
doors that go nowhere. And that was a little bit more on the history of it. I watched a documentary as well, and she went down on record answering the questions about the seance room. She had an interview with someone in the seance room itself, and yeah, fascinating how the mind
Yeah.
deals with it. Do you want me to pull my pictures up?
Sure. Brent, come on, bring
Okay.
it on.
Yeah, all right. I'm ready to go. Entire screen, sure. Right. Let me know when you can see it.
Okay, we've got it. Okay,
Okay,
now that
so
is a
this is,
beautiful facade.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the front of it, isn't it? Or is that the side of it? I can't remember. So next, I think I have the same image as you.
Yeah.
Or almost.
Yeah, that's the front of the
Front.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that red roof. It's just
Yeah.
great. So at this, if
Oh,
you're looking on a phone, you won't be able to see it. But this is a 3D look down breakup of the house that was still being built when she died. You need to pause and study it, but it's fascinating.
mhm.
I thought I'd put it in, but it did not look like America. If anyone's noticed, or was that just me? Right, okay, there's one of the stairs, and they go round to even skinnier stairs that fat people can't fit up. I've watched Ghost Adventures. Another very true paranormal investigation, my ass. There's another one with Sarah herself. The stairs that lead to a ceiling. There you go. Yeah, I thought that was a great picture.
Oh
And
yeah. She's not good.
there's the tower stairs that go
Uh-huh.
to nowhere. So you climb down them from the top thinking you're going somewhere. Normally you climb up, but you actually have to climb down, and there's nothing at the bottom of them.
Uh-huh.
And there she is herself. That's the biggest I
Yeah.
can get it, I'm afraid, I think. Hang on. Oh, there we go. There is Sarah Winchester herself. Yeah. And
Okay. She
yeah.
lived until what, like 1922?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words Winchester. I was expecting Winchester Castle ghosts.
Oh, no. The Winchester House. If I get back out to America, that's a place I would definitely go and see. Now, I didn't know if anyone knew about this, but there's a film Haunting of the Winchester House. Well worth a watch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
on screen right now.
mm-hmm. I
It went
did.
straight to DVD.
Oh, did it? Because
So a lot of people missed it. So that's why I wanted to include this in it. So if you are interested in the Winchester House and the so-called hauntings of it, this is a great movie.
oh, is it?
The terrifying true story. So it says.
I don't know how true it is.
Well,
I
it was a
think.
good watch. Let me tell
Mhm.
you, it was a good watch. So let me just stop sharing that. How is my cold reading? I see fur in your vicinity of it. You're fucking right. He's gone now. He was chewing my cables as we went live, and my language was blue. Mother trucker, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, boy,
Yes,
it
it
did
does
look like a
words. I know
doll,
that
didn't it?
it does look like a doll's house, and she had many dolls in the Winchester house as well. So
Oh,
I
hell,
mean, you're
you
looking
don't
at
want to go there.
yeah, you're looking at causing problems for yourself, having shit like that in there. You know.
I mean, just the story of Annabelle makes me cautious about dolls. So,
Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, let me press the right button. That one. Here we go. Download. I'm having to use the phone, the computer, and I still won't be able to see the chat. All right. Do you want me to do the tower next?
yeah,
I've only got
yeah.
I've got 3 pictures of the tower because I don't think it really needs any more. Hang on. I'm just bringing them up. Let me get back to you guys. Share, and I'll give you a bit of history. I'm not going to bore you entirely, guys, and a history of the tower. All right. So the Tower of London, historic castle on the north bank of the River Thames in central London, was founded by William the Conqueror in 1066. It's over 1,000 years old. I mean, it's just unimaginable. Part of the Norman conquest of England, its origins purpose was to dramatise Norman power and protect London. The White Tower, which gives the entire castle its name, was built in 1078 and served as the royal residence and fortress. Okay, it goes through the many roles of the different towers. It's the home of the crown jewels, which you can see today when you go. It's a vault deep in the bottom of the castle. You go through these. I've been to the Bank of London, well, Bank of England in London, and their bolts aren't as thick as this.
Huh.
And foreign dignitaries used to also store their jewels when they were visiting in the tower because it's impregnable. Do you know the crown jewels were only stolen once in its entire history and didn't actually get to leave the castle? But it was a band of rebels. But let's just say they came to a rather nasty ending. In fact, they were the last to be hung, drawn, and quartered in public because it was so gruesome. And they made their friends watch as each one of them had it done to them. And they got more inventive as they did it. And it's a pretty horrific sight. So after that, any hung, drawn, and quartered people that high treason, which is the ultimate. So you're hung till you pass out. Then you're dragged down, you're woken up, your stomach is slit open, and your intestines are taken out and burnt in front of you on a fire. And then your arms and your legs are slit. Sometimes they used horses, sometimes they just chopped your arms and legs off. Anything to keep you alive, to watch yourself die. And then finally, your head was chopped off and put on a spike at Tower's Traitor's Gate. High treason is the only time they use the hung, drawn, and quartering. And it's got to be the most terrifying thing. And watching one by one, imagine that there were 5 of them. They watched the first one. I mean, and they knew this was coming from themselves. It's just my stomach flips thinking about it. Okay, let me put another picture up.
Okay,
There
now
we go.
didn't they move the crown jewels
No.
to the U.S. during the Second World War?
Yes,
I
they
thought they
did.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were placed in Fort Knox.
yeah,
Only during the Second World War, America looked after the crown jewels. They are estimated to be the value of infinity.
yeah.
Because there is so much of it. And I highly recommend anyone that comes to England. This, and I've told Mr. Londell this, if he ever gets over here, he asked me what's the best place to go first. I went to the Tower. It is the one place you will see over 1,000 years of history. 500 years of absolute turmoil. Kings, queens. Anne Boleyn's head was chopped off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's well, so many people's heads were chopped off there.
Lady
Jane Grey was chopped off there.
I've seen some of the tours and the lectures that the yeoman warders give,
and they will tell you the stories as well.
Yeah, I would go there just to hear the yeoman warders give the history.
And just something I found out today. My uncle, who passed away recently, my mum's brother, who we all know was a bearskin, guarded the Queen. He was Queen's Guard with the big bearskin hat.
Yeah.
He was 6'4". He actually did a tour at the Tower. I didn't know this. Not as a beefeater, but as a Royal Guardsman. And apparently he used to feed the crows every day with the yeoman because he loved them.
Oh yeah, those that.
But as for who haunts the Tower, well, let's go to that bit. Right.
The two young princes.
Hang on. The Tower of London is reputed to be one of the most haunted places in England, with numerous reports of ghostly apparitions and paranormal activity. So we got Anne Boleyn, of course. 1536, she had her head lobbed off for treason, adultery, and incest, no less. Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen, 1554. Her ghost often reported near the Bloody Tower. Oh, crap. Thomas à Becket, the Archbishop of Canterbury, murdered in 1170, appeared to stop the construction of the inner curtain wall, striking it with a cross. The princes in the Tower, rightfully so, and the bodies have been found. However, the Crown will not release those bodies for DNA. We don't know why. Maybe just out of respect for the bones. I mean, we found Richard III in a car park in Norwich, and confirmed it was him. And he is the one that was supposed to have covered the two boys, got the boys murdered by smothering pillows over their faces. They're actually in Madame Tussauds in London, very famous sculpture. Margaret Pole, Countess of Salisbury, 1541, was executed. So her ghost is said to reenact the tragic and gruesome death on Tower Green. Now, Tower Green was just off from the Tower, and it was the public area where everyone was executed with their head being chopped off or being hanged for the public. Now, inside was where the dignitaries were heads lobbed off. They generally weren't hung. It was always a head chopping. And but public was still invited, but it was dignitaries only. So Sir Walter Raleigh is known to in 1618. Oh Christ. In 1618, Raleigh's spirit is said to haunt the Bloody Tower. Now the Bloody Tower is a good look, because that's where all the queens, all the kings, all the dignitaries were there. And Arbella Stuart, a cousin of King James I, marrying without royal permission, died under mysterious circumstances in 1615. Her ghost has been reported in the Queen's house. So there we go. That's it for the town. I got one more picture, which shows a ghostly face. I don't know if this is real or not. It looks like a kid standing next to her, personally. Yeah. There you go. The tower. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. I think.
So, and what about, okay, what was her name? I can't think. The Catholic, the one that was a trap for Elizabeth, that started the war with Spain.
I'm trying to think of what the trap for Elizabeth. Sir Walter Raleigh, and who commanded the ships during Elizabeth I's reign? Bella Stewart. Yes.
Yeah. Remember, she it was actually a trap that Spain had set, because they knew, oh God, I can't remember that. Her spy, Elizabeth's spy master, was reading the letters that they were sending back and forth between her and Spain, and he didn't realize that they knew that he was doing it, and once they set her up for treason and executed her, that's what's started the whole war with England and Spain. Okay.
Yeah.
You would think someone would have seen her ghost, because that was the deathbed. That was the one death warrant that Elizabeth did sign. But anywho, okay.
Oh yes. Well, she signed a few and then reneged on a few, but
yeah,
it's pretty amazing. I mean, Bloody Mary, who was her sister, who had Lady Jane Grey, the 9-Day Queen, killed, and she was nuts. She basically put herself on the throne. She was the killer amongst killers. Really was.
Okay, according to words and pictures, she still walks the tower. Ooh.
I'm sure. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised in the least.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the tower is packed with ghosts, apparently. So, yeah.
It went from a castle to a jail. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, it always was. The central bit, the White Tower, was the royal residence apartments, which a lot of kings and queens were held in after some of the other. It was built before Windsor Castle, before Buckingham Palace, before Tower Bridge. I mean, it's 1,000 years old. And then it's been built upon and layered upon, etc., added to. But yeah, kings and queens lived in there at first, and then they got their own castles and palaces. And if they ever needed protection, that's where they went. There were apartments there 24/7 for them. One was the king's apartment and one was the queen's apartment. For some reason, they always lived apart. And in later years, if a king or queen was held there, that was their prison. They had a lovely prison, but in the end, they were going to die. So, and then the more torturous, but the Bloody Tower, dark cells, very few windows, even some without any. And there was like almost an oubliette, but sort of an oubliette that was on the same level. It was a little square door you opened up, and no one could fit in without, you couldn't sit in it. You had to crouch. There was not enough room to do anything. And the pain caused in there with your back and everything, I mean, it's just phenomenal. And once you'd had 1 to 2 months in there, you were crippled. They'd dangle you over the outer wall and just leave you to die in the elements and let your body rot there. because you were far enough away. They didn't care about the smell.
Ooh.
And a particular guard that fell in love with one of the most treasonous women, who was part of the Crown Jewels, actually, fiasco. He fell in love with her. Husband was still on the run, and she thought she'd be safe. And he was a traitor. He copied the key, hard thing to do in those days, and they tried to escape, but they ran into the night guard. She was locked back up to be tied at the stake with her husband when he eventually got found. So they like to burn people as well. But he was put in this little hole for 2 months and then thrown over the edge of the wall by the moat and just left there dangling to die in the elements. And no food, no water. Nasty way to go. So there you go. That's the tower for you guys.
And
Yeah.
Random Menace. Did anyone try an eviction with holy water in the tower? Probably not.
There's a chapel in the tower. I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff that went on there didn't concern them with religion, ghosts, or anything at the time. And today, most of the reports come from the actual people that work there, less so from folks visiting. So it's very intriguing and so worth a visit if you come to London. It's the one and only thing in London I would say you have to visit. I mean, it is quintessentially one of the oldest buildings in London. It is the oldest building.
Oh, really?
And yeah, Yvette was not told them what crown jewels mean. Yeah, the crown jewels, apart from the real crown jewels, the crown jewels in England mean your bits.
Yeah. Charles's man sack.
That's the one. I didn't want that. I did not want that image in my head. Saggy bollocks.
Well, no, it's passed now to William and Harry, hasn't it? So
William. Harry's not in. No, William. Then William's 2 sons and daughter, and then Harry.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't stand a chance. He's coming back for an extended visit without his wife to mend fences. Good luck with that.
So moving right along.
Yeah. Do you want to do your next one?
The Bell Witch.
Yeah.
This is probably the most famous ghost tale in the U.S. The famous
I know all about the Bell Witch too. Yeah.
Takes place in Adams, Tennessee, where the Bell family was allegedly tormented by a malicious spirit known as the Bell Witch between 1817 and 1821. However, that land, people that are on that, say it's still stuff happening. According to the legend, the Bell Witch would manifest as disembodied voices, poltergeist activity, and physical attacks on family members, particularly targeting the patriarch, John Bell, and his daughter, Betsy. The entity even allegedly interacted with visitors and investigators, taunting them with eerie demonstrations of its power. See, this doesn't sound like a ghost. It sounds like a demon.
It does sound... Well, that's why they called it a witch, because...
Yeah.
It was very much so... very evil spirit.
Yeah.
Hey, JPs!
And the legend of the Bell Witch continues to intrigue paranormal enthusiasts and historians alike, with many speculating about the true nature of the entity and the events that unfolded on the Bell family farm. Have you heard the eerie audio recordings supposedly capturing your
Yeah,
voice a bit. No, I have not, and no, I don't wanna. Yeah.
I have. They actually in the cave, not far from the house and the grave. They use subsonic sounds. Um, However, the people doing it are uh, known as complete fakes. But it was
Okay.
a very interesting experiment I found because it's something that paranormal people look into, and there
Yeah.
seemed to be something coming through that I don't think they were creating, but unfortunately, it was on a show that you wouldn't trust someone to, do anything for you.
I don't. I really don't trust any of those shows.
That there is one or two reputable ones at the moment, but oh yeah, you got the same pictures as me.
Uh,
Oh no, ignore me. I'm looking at the God Almighty. Just ignore me. I have some pictures of the Bell Witch for you, if you
okay.
haven't got
Yeah.
any.
No, I couldn't find any.
Well, I found some, but not as many as I thought I would, and a lot of very, very old drawings more than anything. All right, let's share this, and I need to go to here first. So this is the plaque outside the house. I'm sorry it's in this format for some reason, but it is.
John
Let
Bell.
me. Yeah, John Bell. He was the guy that it all happened to, and his great grandson is still living and still giving tours of the cave. And finally, one of the best drawings, not the one of the witch being thrown in the fire, but
Uh-huh.
how they died in those days. This was a classic drawing of the Bell family as they were dying slowly from all of this. So not a lot on the Bell Witch, but and I couldn't find the fireplace drawing that I know is so famous. So weird. But you know,
Uh-huh. Oh, and
mainly our ghosts are female.
a thought just hit me. Uh, the movie The Entity.
Oh my god, yeah. I have that on DVD and on VHS.
Ah, so do I.
Um,
And that is a creepy
yeah,
movie.
that's also based on a true story. Yeah. And according to the end of the film, she's still, I mean, it was dramatized a little bit, but most of
Yeah.
everything she talked about was real. And it was still happening to her even though she moved away. Yeah.
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 So
Frightening film, though. Very frightening film. And very clever effects in it.
I know. I'm wondering whether it should be a groovy movie or not.
Oh, I am totally up for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely, totally up for that.
So, Brogu.
So,
Hola, my
hey,
friend.
Brogu.
Don't be too afraid. We're talking paranormal now. Okay. Now, this.
JP's. Sorry.
Oh, go
JP
ahead.
says a funny one. Ghostfacers needs to investigate. Now, that will only be known to people that watch Supernatural. Because they had a spin-off from Supernatural. They were in a couple of 2 or 3 episodes, but they had a spin-off on sort of YouTube or the internet, and it didn't go down well, but which was a shame. I mean, they are obnoxious little shits you wanted to hit, but yeah, ghost faces.
Okay. Now, this I found it kind of
DJ Mr.
shocked.
Joe, hi. Sorry.
it kind of shocked me. The top 10 haunted places in Dallas is where I
Ah.
live. Okay. I didn't realize there were 10 haunted places in Dallas. So, and as the third largest city in Dallas, third largest city in Texas, Dallas is known as a bustling, contemporary mecca of culture and commerce. Yes, it is. Yet beyond its glossy, modern exterior, a city of ghosts rides beneath. In this
Ooh.
article, they ranked the 10 most haunted places in the North Texas metropolis. From,
Wow.
it has everything to offer, from jilted brides to rock hurling poltergeists.
Shoo.
Okay, at number 10, the Coombs Creek Trail, located in Oak Cliff, the section of Dallas where I live.
Oh.
This trail offers a serene, scenic path along Coombs Creek for nature lovers to enjoy. Not so serene, however, is the trail's eerie history. Years ago, a young girl named Mary would ride her bike every day along the trail, but one day Mary never returned home. It's still unknown whether Mary drowned in the creek, was struck by a passing train, or was taken, but she seems
Ah.
to have disappeared without a trace. Hikers still report seeing the figure of a young girl riding her bike dangerously close to the edge of the water. But when they
Wow.
call out to warn her, she vanishes into the muggy creek air.
Ah.
Others have reported seeing the small, ghostly face of a young girl, no more than 6, peeking out at them from behind a tree. When they try to move
Creepy.
closer to investigate, the face disappears. The face then reappears further along the trail, inviting the hiker to follow her deeper and deeper into the woods. Could she
Mm.
them to
She
her body?
lures me in.
You'll have to venture down the Coombs Creek Trail to find out. Like hell, I will. Okay.
So we got a couple of messages. JP says one haunted place in Dallas is the Cowboys Stadium. But Words has put a little bit more about the Bell Witch. John Bell cheated on Kate Batts on a land deal, and she's the ghost which known as the Bell Witch. She had a valid point. Glad she's haunting there. The Bell Witch should be called Kate Batts Witch. There we go. I didn't actually know that.
That's that I had never heard either. I
No,
did not. I really didn't understand why the family was. They bought
cursed.
the land and all of that started.
Yeah,
And it was stories about Indian spirits and things like that.
yeah.
I you know
I've never heard that. Definitely not. In
no,
all the documentaries I've seen on it. And Words then goes on to say, ghost motorbike. Ooh, well, I know it wasn't here. It must have been at yours. A
no,
motorbike going by.
it's not a motorbike. It's a pedal bike.
God, that was loud for a pedal bike. Is it electric powered?
Oh, you mean you heard coming down?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was some little idiot on a Honda.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
number 9, we have the Sons of Herman Hall,
Mm.
located in the Deep Ellum. Herman Hall's website marks itself as the oldest freestanding wood structure in Dallas, as well as the oldest bar. And for over 100 years, the hall has hosted vibrant concerts, parties, and dances. But that's not all. It's host to, as often, the laughter and music of the living match those of the dead of Herman Hall. Ugh. Both staff members and guests of the hall have reported strange occurrences within its walls, especially in the late hours of the night. Some guests have seen paintings fly off the wall as if thrown by some unseen force. Others have heard footsteps in hallways seen doors suddenly slam shut. Guests also claimed to hear children laughing, even when no children were present. Perhaps the hall is still a favorite meeting spot for Dallas residents, even in death. Most of the ghostly sightings seem to be of a peaceful, even celebratory nature, as if the ghosts are enjoying one last dance at their favorite haunt. I don't know. See, okay, I've never been to Herman's Hall, so I don't know. Now, the Majestic Theater.
That's classed as residual ghosts, Mr. Lundell, where they're playing out their last happy moments. Or a moment that was very prevalent in their lives. They're not aware of anyone. They're just repeating a loop. It's like a playback. That's one of the theories behind a lot of house hauntings have residual ghosts. They're classed as either residual, which are apparitions that appear to be doing the same thing over and over again before something either they were doing just before they died or something they'd love to do. Whereas then you get intelligent ghosts, which are ghosts that interact. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna go through all of these. It is 10, but that's the link if you want. That's the link if you want to check them out for yourself. And let's see, I'll do a couple more.
Okay. Random Menace says, sometimes I hear baby cries coming from upstairs. Oh, Random Menace.
Oh, okay.
Olivia is not a ghost.
Now, number 3.
Yeah.
This is probably the most famous one here that everybody knows about. White Rock Lake. Okay, the Coombs Creek Trail isn't the only haunted natural spot Dallas has to offer. White Rock Lake is a beautiful, secluded destination, perfect for a relaxing day by the water. Yes, it is. I've been there many times myself. As long as you head home before nightfall, that is. After dark, the bold trees and slow, languid air in the place instill an aura of creepiness, and cool winds blowing off the water send a wave of chills up the spine. According to local legend, White Rock is home to the ghost of the Lady of the Lake. Years ago, a young couple was driving home from a party along the lake one night. The two were tired and ready to get home and crawl into bed when the wife suddenly screamed at her husband to stop the car. A young woman in a long white gown had appeared on the road before them, illuminated by the glow of the headlights. The couple asked the woman if she needed a ride, and she accepted. They drove on, and all the while, the wife could hear the steady drip, drip, drip of water. But once they reached the address the woman had given them, they turned around to find her gone, leaving behind only a puddle. Confused, the couple got out at the address and knocked on the door. An elderly man answered. They told the man about the young woman they had picked up.
Oh, hang on. Night, Burgoo.
And told them they were not the first couple to come knocking on his door late at night. The woman they had picked up was his daughter, who had drowned in White Rock Lake 10 years earlier. The Lady of the Lake has been spotted and even picked up many times since, and continues to haunt White Rock Lake in her white gown, looking for a way back home.
Wow. The Lady of the Lake. I mean, says words. Yeah. White. The Lady in White, and there are so many stories about the Lady in White, but they tend to culminate around La Llorona, the woman that drowned her 3 kids.
Yeah, that's part. Yeah. That's been part of the legend that she was looking for children.
Yeah.
After she killed them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd heard that part of the story. And but then that story is not just, you know, exclusive to Dallas.
No, the lady,
That's a
yeah,
lot of
the
places.
lady in white is all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, all over the world there are sightings of a lady in the lake. Yeah, lady in white. Sorry, Lady of the Lake makes me think of Arthurian legend.
Well,
Holding Excalibur.
Yeah, that's what she's called here, Lady of the Lake.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. You're talking about Carnival of Souls, the movie that nobody liked but me. But okay, that's what else do you have? So that's
Oh, right. I can start with a
yeah.
couple of pubs if you want. And I've been to both of them. So quite
Uh-huh.
interesting that I've actually drunk in both these pubs. One isn't open anymore. But let me share. So I got no present. Never gonna get used to these. Share entire screen.
Somebody,
Lying
somebody
in
went
ponds,
there.
disturbing swords is no basis for a system of government.
Somebody went
Okay, you
there.
got the picture up? Yeah, of
And
course they did.
there it is. Ooh, that looks
There
like
it
a
is.
Hollywood set.
It's not. It's the Skirrid Inn. So it's actually known as the Skirrid Mountain Inn, but the actual pub is called the Skirrid Inn. One of the oldest pubs in Wales. You actually, when you go through that door, you have to step down 3 stairs because it's been there so long. You know, the earth has built up around it. It's dating back to the 12th century. In fact, the door itself was carbon dated to be 1,000 years old.
Whoa.
So it was used from something even older. And the stables in it, the stables are interesting because a lot of stabling was ground floor for the horses, but in this particular one, they went up a walkway and were on top. The stables were actually on the second floor for Americans, first floor for us. The inn has a dark history of being used as a court, no less. A court of law where executions were carried out. There is, I don't think I've got a picture of the main stairwell, but in the middle, there's a big sort of gap all the way down from the top to the bottom. And the top beam and you can see the marks where the rope was. And they hung them in there because it was a nice drop. Visitors frequently report ghostly figures, slamming doors, whispering voices. And yeah, it is just creepy as fuck in there. I can tell you that just going in for a little lunch. And anyone can go there. It's not far from Jodrell Bank, actually. So if you're visiting Jodrell Bank, it's about 15 minutes up the road. And it's quite a creepy place. There you go. That door is 1,000 years old.
It looks creepy.
Well, all our pubs,
daylight.
all our pubs look creepy. Now, this is the Ancient Ram. Unfortunately, the Ancient Ram is no longer a pub. But before it was closed down, I drank in there. Another one where you had to walk down into the pub. The former inn is notorious for sinister history of child sacrifice. They found bones of children under a grate. Suicide and black magic rituals. It is said to be haunted by many spirits, making it one of the most haunted places in England. You can actually hire it for the night, but fuck that. And as you can see, it's an original thatch cottage pub. It's very old, very creepy. And when it was open, The guy that ran it was completely nuts. He claimed, now I don't want to get this wrong, a succubus, I think that's the female version, isn't it? Used to rape him every night. But of course, everyone thought he was balmy as fuck.
He was.
Okay. I got any more pictures? Oh, there's another one. Drawing of it from real back in the day. No, that's a picture. Very, very old. Now you can see the doors, how it's sunk. I mean, it's on the lines as a skirrid in for oh yeah, no. That's the next one. So
JP,
yeah,
you sick bastard.
He said, lucky him. Oh my god, yeah. So there's 2 pubs for you. I've got more if you want me to carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me go back to present. Share screen. Okay. So
the Words wants to know how much to hire the ancient ram, asking for a friend. Yeah, right, dude.
I have no idea. Google it, because I know people have been there. Right, I'm going to talk about Pendle Hill in Lancashire, which is about half an hour from me. Pendle Hill, for Americans, is your Salem's Lot, but slightly earlier. It was during the witch trials, Pendle witch trials in 1612, so a lot earlier than, well, not a lot earlier, but I think they were a few years apart to Salem witch trials. So the Pendle witch trials of 1612, Pendle Hill is believed to be haunted by the spirits of those accused of witchcraft. Visitors reporting
Salem.
Hmm?
That's way earlier than Salem.
Yeah.
It was, see, the witch trials here in Salem, it was after 1620.
Yeah. I said it's a few years apart. But the Pendle Witches were one of the first. They're in the Doomsday Book and everything. It's pure, pure history, this. So visitors report hearing disembodied voices, seeing shadowy figures. It's I've been to Pendle Hill many times. The village is stunning. The witches were actually tried and hung at Lancaster City Castle / prison, except for one who went rogue and told the prosecution that they were all witches to save her own life. Of course, none of them were witches. I mean, this was a way of getting rid of mouthy women that they didn't like, usually by other women. It's just one of those things. And why am I not? I hate this.
Oh my goodness. So they were all witches and goblins. Okay, so let's see how we do this now. See if I can bring up We've lost Yvette for a while, so maybe she'll be back. She's probably killing the cat, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll kind of so JP says that all the witches were redheads. So maybe that's why they got rid of them. I doubt it. You know, redheads were kind of popular back then. You know, and that's all there were, like in Scotland and Ireland, probably. So, you know. And yes, she clicked the wrong X. Maybe she's killing the cat. Okay, but okay, I tell you what we'll do. We'll go back up we'll do some more of the haunted places in Dallas. Ten haunted. And okay. And nope. But okay, so we know we oh there she is. Uh did you kill the cat? All we want
No.
to know is did you kill the cat?
No. How long before I got shut off because I pressed the wrong effing button?
That's what the words and pictures said. Or was it
Did I?
JP?
Did you hear Borley Rectory before I effed it up?
No, you were about to.
I?
I think you were trying to
Right.
change the picture or something.
All right. Okay. I'm going to do this
Yeah.
one more time because no one replied after I finished, and I looked up and I'm like, oh God, what have I done? Right. Okay. All right. Borley Rectory. Here we go.
Oh, and
Just
Gorilla has joined us.
Right.
Gorilla.
There's the picture of Borley Rectory. Hey, Gorilla. Right. I'm so sorry, people. I pressed the wrong button. It happens. Known as the most haunted house in England, Borley Rectory has a history of ghostly sightings, including a spectral nun, a headless carriage. Although the rectory was demolished in 1944, its hauntings and reputation endures. Now, I've been to Borley Rectory, but it wasn't there. It was knocked down in 1944. But it's a spooky place. Now, I haven't seen a video on Borley Rectory, but there's a book, and it goes into the history and the so-called hauntings. Obviously, we've got a nun, and we've got all sorts of other things. It's a very creepy place. Okay, so Whitby's next for me, unless you want to stop and do one of yours.
Go ahead. That's all I really had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's Whitby Abbey.
Oh yeah.
One of my all-time favorite places. This is where Bram Stoker sat, and I sat on the rock he sat on. And unfortunately, with these ones, I have to open and close them. Whitby Abbey is probably one of the most unbelievably standing structures that has survived, even though it's in ruins. So it's so old. And hang on, let me give you an overlook. Overlooking the North Sea, Whitby Abbey inspired Bram Stoker's Dracula and is haunted by phantom monks and eerie apparitions, contributing to spooky reputation. It does have a very, very weird feeling to it. Let me just call this one up. Oh, look, we got a nice one. I don't know why there you go. And I perched on one of these. And
he sat there and
it just overlooks the North Sea, and Yeah,
sat
he came.
there
Well,
and
he came
wrote
up with the inspiration and wrote notes. The
uh
gothic look of this place is just mind-boggling, and it's somewhere else I would recommend people to go, because not only is Whitby Abbey a must on your list because of its just historical amazement and its history behind Bram Stoker, Whitby has the best fish and chip shop on the planet.
Oh, really?
It was in the world. Yeah, it is. Whitby is a fishing village. It's a village. Tiny little cobblestone streets everywhere, winding. And it's. I've been to Whitby many times. It's on the east coast. I'm on the west coast. It's literally across the country from me, but it is stunning. So stunning. Now, has this got right? So we're moving on now to Hampton Court in London. Now, Hampton Court was built by Henry VIII for one of his ministers. This place is effing impressive. And I mean effing impressive.
Hampton Court. I thought he confiscated that from a
No, he
Catholic
built
bishop.
it for a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, rather, he gave the friend permission to build it, and then went there, liked it, and took it off him. It has a hedge maze, which is still kept today. I've been through it several times. And it holds the very first tennis court. And it's indoors. Because it was designed indoors. I'm hoping it's on, of course, it's not on this section. Let me just close that. I didn't get it. It was being naughty. There's a beautiful picture of Hampton Court. But I wanted to get one that was overlooking it, but I literally was running out of time because I haven't been well. But Hampton Court, right. So we've got, for spirits, we've got Jane Seymour, one of Henry VIII's third wife. Lady Jane Grey was under house arrest there. It's a place for paranormal activity, and sightings and unexplained phenomena are reported regularly here. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, this place is another one I would put on a to-do list. It's just outside London, and the gardens are exactly as they were and immaculate, let alone the building. I mean, it's just a phenomenal place to be. Right, so I have 2 extras if we had time.
It depends on how much time you want to spend. This is
I'm fine.
It's as much a history lesson as anything.
Well, yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I include that lot was the first lot I did because they're world famous, a lot of them. The pubs, not so much, but here in Britain, Words will tell you, he'll know about them. He's probably been to some of those places. I've been to them all that we listed there in the UK. I certainly would love to go to the Winchester House. Oh my God, that's on my bucket list. But I've included 2 newer 2 newer ones, which will probably be a little bit more spooky.
Words and pictures wants more.
Okay. There's only 2 more, but both of them are... Oh, hello, Chuck. You want to speak into the microphone? Are you You better be purring if you're doing that.
Right. Okay, everybody in the chat. Okay, if you know of some of these, like ghost stories or whatever, post them for us.
Are we getting purring? He's trying to eat the microphone. Oh, now come on. Mommy's working. Yeah, Mum.
Oh, and according to Words and Pictures, Hampton Court was mentioned in the Doomsday Book.
It was? Yeah. A lot of things. I'm mentioned in the Doomsday Book, where my family is, anyway. Just give me 2 ticks. I'm just pulling up a couple of images here. Oh, you little shit. I swear to God. Go find something else to annoy.
Okay, Yvette, it's a
Yes.
cat. It does not understand English.
It does. It understands my voice. Ew. Right, I'm going to start with. Come on. No, way too much.
Lower Fort Erie in Manitoba, Canada. So what did y'all do there? Kill up a bunch of Indians? Is it on Indian burial ground, JPs, or a bunch of French guys died there and what?
Okay, let me know when you can see it.
Yeah.
Because this is going to confuse everyone. This is 30 East Drive in Pontefract. It is claimed to be the most haunted house in Britain. It's a council house built in the 1950s, no less. We have had everyone from most haunted to ghost adventures to every fucker come in this place and do some stupid things. However, there have been people that have been from proper research, and every single person that goes into this place catches something. It's also known as the Black Monk House. It's one of the most infamous haunted locations in the UK, located in Pontefract, West Yorkshire. The haunting of this house is considered one of the most violent and well-documented cases of poltergeist activity in the country. I've seen film footage from people, reputable people, no less, of poltergeist manipulation. The history of 30 East Drive. It's a 1950s typical council house. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. On the Chesterfield estate in Pontefract. The Pritchard family consisted of Jean Joe, along with their children, Philip and 12-year-old Diane, moved into the house in the 60s. The disturbances began in 66 when Philip and his grandma were the first to experience strange occurrences, including chalk dust falling from midair. Over time, activity escalated and the family reported numerous instances of objects being moved, strange noises and furniture being overturned. So the poltergeist, they think, is this black monk. I'm not going to read all of this. One of the most notable things that was claimed was Diane, the little girl, was dragged up by her hair up some stairs by an invisible force. Now, I've got the stairs here. That clock has fallen down the stairs without any help. This part of the house is fucking spooky. The shit. It's violent. The house, believed to be built. What? No, I'm reading the wrong one. Okay.
Yeah. According to Words and Pictures.
Oh, go on.
A Kodiak monk was hanged across the street for raping and murdering a young girl.
That's correct. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, you can rent it out for a weekend or a night. So
no,
you can
thank you.
Go there. It's the most frightening thing I think about this is it's literally. Let me just put the house back up. It could be anyone's house. It's not a grand palace. That's the frightening thing about this. So right, the last one. Sorry, guys, just bear with me. 2 ticks. Is please be. Oh, you're going this way again, right? Can you see that, guys? You're gonna love this one. Oh, and I meant to mention, there is a film based on 30 East Drive called When the Lights Go Out. If you're interested, it was made on the legacy of the actual history from the family itself. So when the lights go out. So see, that was your quote words.
Huh.
Finally, now I don't know if you guys know about this. I'm sure everyone knows about Enfield Drive because it is based on The Conjuring 2. And if you haven't seen The Conjuring 2, where have you been? The Enfield Poltergeist is one of the most famous and well-documented ghost stories in modern history. The supernatural event occurred in Enfield, North London, between 1977 and 1979. And I can tell you now, I remember reading it in the paper. It involved the Hodgson family. A case gained significant attention and remains a topic of interest for paranormal investigators and enthusiasts. So the family consisted of a mum and 2 daughters. One of the daughters seemed to be targeted by this ghost. It could talk through her. The BBC documentary investigation they did couldn't prove either way. They filled her mouth with water and it was still talking through her. You can find that interview. It's hard, but you can find it. Yeah, Janet, her name was. There's a famous picture, which... Get off my wires, you little fuckhead! Excuse me. Of her, and I will... Let me get that one up. Because it's not going to be the decent one. No. There we go. This is the infamous photo that everyone debunked of her jumping. And to be frank, I believe that. However, there are other things that weren't explained. They had police officers in the house. Now, they actually show this scene in The Conjuring 2, and it actually happened. A chair moved across the kitchen. The 2 police officers witnessed it. They put it down in their statement. And, they couldn't explain it either.
Huh.
Yeah. And the police checked out the chair. There was nothing pulling it, and all of this. It was just, it was in the newspapers. It was headlines. They had the BBC there. They had absolutely parapsychologists galore heading in there. Now, I know in the film that the 2 most famous ghost hunters in the world, which are the Warrens, are in the film. They were asked to come and help, but they didn't. So they've taken liberties on that, which is a shame because there was so much criticism, possibly trickery and attention-seeking behaviour. But the definition of a poltergeist is usually it's attached to a teenage or a coming-of-age person, usually a girl, but boys as well. And it's a short-term lived thing, poltergeist, and focused around their emotional change into adolescence. So that's how a poltergeist... Usually, you can get poltergeists in haunted homes as well, but they're generally attached to sort of a child between certainly a certain age. The Enfield case is a fascinating and controversial chapter in history of paranormal investigation. While some of you, it is evidence of supernatural phenomena, others consider it a compelling case of psychological and social factors at play. Regardless of one's stance, the Enfield poltergeist remains a key reference point in discussions about ghostly encounters and mysteries of the unknown. So let me just check. Did I get another? Oh yeah, there's The Conjuring 2. There you go. So yeah, the film is loosely, but it is the story of them, but they throw in the Warrens. So there you go.
Okay.
I hope And so, well, they're the two modern ones that I remembered at the last minute. But interesting nonetheless. I mean, from the Tower of London and the Winchester House.
Yeah.
I like words.
Okay. Now, just for those that are total skeptics, let's add this to the mix. Harry Houdini was indeed known for his efforts to debunk spiritualists and mediums who claimed to have supernatural abilities. He saw them as frauds who were taking advantage of people's grief and belief in the paranormal, and he was determined to expose their tricks.
Does it not mention his friend, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who also did that?
We're getting there.
Sorry.
Houdini spent many years investigating and exposing the techniques used by mediums to create seemingly supernatural phenomena such as levitating tables, producing mysterious raps and noises, and manifesting ectoplasm from thin air. He even worked with Scientific America magazine to offer a $10,000 reward to any medium who could demonstrate genuine psychic abilities under controlled conditions.
He did, yeah.
Interestingly, Houdini's crusade against spiritualism put him at odds with some of his friends and colleagues, including the famous Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who was a firm believer in the paranormal. Nonetheless, Houdini remained committed to his mission of exposing frauds and promoting critical thinking. In what's not mentioned here was Doyle actually thought Houdini had some magical ability, even though he would tell him it's a trick.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
there's a really good book I read about this on there. On their it was more on a personal level between them.
Uh-huh.
I've just torn the cat in two. Sorry.
No, leave the cat alone.
It was eating the microphone wire. Would you rather have my dulcet tones or nothing? JP's weren't the Warrens proven frauds? Well, it's a long story. And no, they weren't in the end. They worked for the Vatican directly.
Yeah.
And they were only ever brought into cases when the Vatican asked them to. And the Vatican actually turned down the Enfield ghost. So that's why in reality they weren't there. But they were asked. But the Vatican turned it down. Whereas I think the devil made me do it. That one was real. They were there. And they're on, you can look on YouTube. There's many interviews with them about. They were also at the Amityville house after the second family, which is what the film's based on. To see if it was real or they were just doing it for money.
That Amityville case was proven to be bupkis. They couldn't do it.
I agree. I agree with you. But the Warrens were there to look at it. The Vatican gave them permission to go and look at that because of the horrors that went on before that family moved in. They believed something evil was there.
It was a murder house before that family moved in.
But the Warrens were definitely there. So the devil. Oh, and the devil made me do it. They were also there for that. Unfortunately, they weren't there for the Conjuring 2, but they were asked. So that's how they tied them in the film. I wouldn't.
But see, the thing about it though, the Catholic Church, they are very, very
particular.
discreet in what they,
Yeah.
particular.
Yeah.
They just don't take any, it, you have, I mean, it is a battery of things you have to go through, especially with a possession.
Mm. Oh yeah. And to be fair to the Warrens, they exclusively worked for the Vatican.
Hmm.
And they went where they were told to go. I do have some theories on ghosts, but we're going to leave that to next week because we're going to look at other types of ghosts. We wanted to do places this week,
Yeah.
classic places. And I think we've covered some of the best.
Yeah, some of the more,
Some of the more,
known.
I think the best historical places anyway. Would you excuse me one moment, Mr. Londell?
Oh yeah, as always. And according to JP's, the Catholic Church basically would disclaim everything until they say it for themselves. Or do you mean until they see it for themselves? Well, you have to. That they the church recognizes you know mental illness, so you got to give them their due. See now, 1,000 years ago, yeah, they probably had priests all over the place, trying to exorcise demons, and I mean, they 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 were just that close to calling uh, Joan of Arc being demonically possessed. So now they know that's possible. So it's a battery of tests and that you go through. So when they send out an exorcist, it's the real deal, or at least they think it's the real deal. And what's this? Words and pictures. You can't just glue a cat back together. Well, she's trying to keep the cat from chewing on her cables. I say she should just give him a cable and let him chew on it. Maybe put a teeny tiny bit of voltage in there. Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that. And yes, you can. He seems to be okay. I've used a bit of reanimator on him. He's a bit meowy now.
Uh,
And if anyone's seen that film, they'll know what I'm talking about.
you shot him with a water bottle.
No, I ripped him in half. I just glued him back together.
JP's 80 years ago, someone with epilepsy was still seen as a possible possession.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But now, wait, epilepsy was seen as a sign of greatness because, well, now royalty had this nasty habit of inbreeding, and you would have epileptics in
Mm.
in royal families. So that was that could that was in some circles it was seen as greatness. Just like migraines were considered, you know, genius, and things like that.
Mm. Jeff
So
says pet cemetery action going on. Not quite. But
now,
he has disappeared because he bit my hand. I picked him up while he was trying to bite my hand off and I threw him across the room. So he's gone for now. I'm sure he'll be back.
Did he land on his feet? That's all we need to know.
He can land anywhere. He's a kitten. He bounces.
Oh,
I can't tell you how many times he's run into a radiator head on and not knocked himself out.
no, but when cats do that, they meant to do it.
Yeah, if you say so. If you ask me, he makes a few mistakes. He's still learning. He's 14 weeks old, so. But he does love cables, unfortunately. It's a nightmare. Anyway, yeah, the last two are very modern, which in this day and age, especially in England, most hauntings are in our classic old stuff, and I could go on for hours with haunted places, but I wanted to pick like some of the top ones, or some of the ones you'd know, like the Tower and Hampton Court and that. But I also want to include those pubs because I drank in both of them when the ramen was open, and they're spooky places. They're dark, low beams, you know, where a lot of pubs still open today. The classic ones in the villages. Any village you go in, the pub is going to be at least 500 years old at the very minimum. Oh, rent a ghost. I remember that word.
Rent a ghost.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, they're bloody awful. It was a kids' program. Yeah.
Oh, man. We went for an hour and a half. So
we did. There you go. It's easy subject to talk about.
Once you get to yapping about it, it gets real easy.
And we've only covered a few, but we certainly want to do some buildings and, you know, famous places this time. Next week we'll go on to another subject within the realm. Plenty of it. And there are more buildings, obviously, I'd like to cover. Not necessarily in the UK or in the US. Places I've been to. So, and perhaps personal experiences, because, you know, you're wondering why a quantum physicist would be so interested in this stuff. Well, you'll have to come back for the next stream and I will tell you my story of my experience and show you I'm not the only person who's witnessed it. Yeah. Quite an intriguing one. It's quite a famous one as well. A very bizarre one. So, this is why I'm intrigued by it, because incubus of it? No, I wish, JPs. No. That'd be bloody marvelous. No. This was a genuine creep out. Fuck me, creep out. But you'll have to come back next week for that one. But were we talking about certain ghosts, maybe, or particularly famous ghosts, perhaps, Mr. Lundell, that are about or have been about?
I'm thinking it'll just be titled Paranormal Part 2.
Yeah, absolutely. But
that way we can,
I certainly have a list of particular sightings that not just one or two people have seen. We're talking thousands.
Yeah. See, because
like the Mothman.
See, we can go into, with paranormal, we can go into everything from psychic phenomena. You know, astral projections, all of that great,
absolutely. Yeah.
Are the Hindu yogis for real, or are they full of shit? There's so much we can do with that.
Voodoo. Now, voodoo, does that exist? I mean, is that paranormal, or is it just black magic? I consider black magic part of the paranormal, because casting magic on people is not normal, so it's paranormal.
I totally agree. So, anywho,
thanks for having me.
Yes, it's time to wrap this up. So everybody, be sure, like, subscribe, leave a comment,
share. Please share.
Share this. Yes, tell your friends about us. Yeah, I'm at like 2,700 hours now. So
wow,
just a little bit more, and I'll have the hours to be monetized, and we'll, and once that happens, okay, we are really going to have some fun. And see how much we can kick off of this. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, listen to some good ghost stories, listen to some bad ghost stories, watch some ghost movies, good or bad. Just have fun, be safe. You got a week's worth of work ahead of you. For Mr. Lundell and Yvette, I'm going to say have a good Sunday.